So in this video, we're going to take a look at playing Tangos Por Arriba. Tangos is more commonly played por medio, and I'm actually going to assume that you already played Tangos Por Medio in this video. So if you don't, I would get used to that. It's just way more common. But it's also pretty common and a lot of fun to play Por Arriba, right, in the Soleá key. And a lot of it transposes really easily. So we're going to look at some of the chords that we need to use and that we need to know, and some of the things that are different or that we do differently when we're playing Por Medio. So basically, you know, whereas we're here, when we're playing Por Medio, we would transpose everything down. So if the root of your chords are on the 5th string, Por Medio, this is going to be roots on the 6th string. Right, so basically the Soleá chords, right? We're playing tangos in the key of Soleá. So you really could just play the chords that you play in Soleá with your right hand patterns. Right? One of the things you notice right away is in Tangos Por Medio, we do a lot of this. And we can't do that because we don't have a lower string to do that on. So all your little melodies are generally going to be on the 6th string. So like that. Right, and then so I would take any right hand pattern that you're used to and first just get used to playing it with these chords. You'll notice every now and then I will use my thumb to strum in a place where I might not do that por medio, and that's just to get that 6th string to ring, right? Because if I keep my thumb here, it doesn't sound bad, but it's not as full as if I have that chord in there. The Llamada would be C and G, and then right, so C, and very often if I'm, you know, doing something like this and I'm going to hit the 6th string, I put the G on the bottom of the C. And then there's a lot of G's we could use. We could use this G, or this G, or this G fully barred, or G7, or triad not fully barred, right, with the 2 2nd and 1st string open. That's nice. Here. One of the distinctive things that happens when we play Por Arriba is using the F and the C in Compás, right? So we might do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm doing here is 1, up, down, down, same as normal por medio tangos. And then here, thumb, index, golpe, down, right? This technique where we don't pick up the thumb, we play. Very common thing in flamenco. So we could either do this as basically one compás, or we can make it a longer phrase and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Or this F, C, another F, and we resolve, right? And here I syncopated, I anticipated that E at the end, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, rather than 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3. So we can do longer version. Very a little bit of my arm as I open my hand. And sometimes a thumb up. If we look at the other chords, we sort of transpose everything down to E from A, we would get right, so A minor, G, F, E, or we could do it open position, A minor, G, F, E. Right, so both of those work. And the dominance, right? So por medio, when we do that kind of thing, right? In this case, it would be A minor, right? Then D7 to G7 to C7 to F7, and then we could either just stay here and resolve, right? Notice I played this version of the dominance, which is very common in flamenco, right? So A minor, and then rather than playing this D7, I bar and I bring my ring finger to the 6th string, right? And then G, same voicing, and the C7, and then it's common when we resolve, when we're almost resolved, when we're here, and we're doing something like play a different chord, that kind of works here. Or the analog to playing G minor and then resolving up to A would be a D minor if we're in this key, right? So you can do right, so D minor, and there's a lot of D minors, right? We can do this one, which is a triad with open E, or we could bar, or we could play the minor 7, right? And rather than resolve from here back down, I went and I resolved up to this E, right? Also, a bit of a tricky but fun chord, right? That's the analog to that por medio, would be D minor here. Now, I'm moving the D up to D sharp and putting my pinky, right, the octave there, and then resolve here. And there's even a trickier fun chord here, right? I can sort of do this bar where the tip of my index is on the 6th fret, and then the bar is on the 5th fret, right? So I'm just playing these two notes with my index. So from here, great sounding chord, and then we resolve up to E. We can also play F here. That's sort of a primer on getting around the chords in tangos. And then one of the nice things is that so many things transpose really easily. So if I was going to do this por medio, if I was here, then here, that transposes really nicely. So anytime you're doing this por medio, you just do this, right? 3rd fret of the 5th and the 4th string. Or sometimes we'll have F and A, right? If we're playing the open A. So a lot of stuff that happens down here, you know, can happen and transpose really easily So I would recommend pick a few things that you know, and get used to transposing those down into this key because it's pretty straightforward. Not everything will work, and of course, anytime you play the 6th string when you're playing Por Medio, you're going to run into trouble Por Arriba because you don't have that, 1 string lower. But you're going to find ways around it, and you're going to get used to playing in this key. So I would first start with simple things Por Medio, to play for tangos, and try to get the groove of playing those Por Arriba, and then throw in the new stuff. It's a really fun key to play with. It's a pretty straightforward transposition. So not only is it a great way to get used to playing, tangos in this key, but it's a good way to work on that skill of transposing.